What's up? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO coming at you with another topic. And today we'll be talking about the bully in your head. All right, guys, I'll be talking straight to that guy in your head that's probably holding you back from doing what you know you should be doing, but you're not doing when it comes to your fitness and any other commitment that you've honestly made within the last, your whole entire life. You know what I mean? We're gonna be talking about it today. We are going to be breaking it down. Okay, so if you are new to the Meathead on the Mic podcast, I just want you to know that you can drop questions, you can ask anything, whatever it is, at the beginning of the episode, and at the very end, I'll try my best to answer as many questions as possible. Shout out to everybody that joined. Man Rush is good, bro. Fuck off. I'm not gonna rate your current cycle. We don't do that over here, man. This guy kills me. I hope you're having a sick day, though. Honestly, like jokes aside. Okay, people, guys. All right, let's break it down. We're gonna be having that conversation today. We are going to be having a very cool conversation. Duke, what's good? What's up? What's happening? This conversation will be relating to basically how you look inwards and how you either talk to yourself or respond to that voice in your head with the actions or lack thereof, like with actions that you don't, do, or actions that you know you should be doing that you aren't doing, and how that's holding you back and fighting against you also with that voice in your head. Okay, so that's what today's topic is going to be about, be surrounded around. It's going to be a mindset related episode. Okay, just letting you know. 2 grams of You kill me though. You kill me, dog. All right, so again, comments and questions are welcome at the beginning and throughout the episode, and at the very end, I'll do my best to answer as many of them as possible. With that out the way, with that said, we'll be diving into today's podcast episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's a returning champion, IFBB Pro, Matt Butale, coming at you with another topic. And today I'll be talking about that voice in your head that you feel like is bullying you. Okay, we're going to be uncovering that, talking a little bit about that, and diving into that Pandora's box a little bit, and showing you that it's not really as bad as you think. Um, and you should be a lot more grateful for that voice in your head. We're going to be breaking it down. This is a mindset related episode today. So if you're looking for something nutrition related or training related, definitely you can go back to any of the other episodes. This is episode number 141 of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. So you're more than welcome to, pick away at whatever information that you like to see in this podcast series. 1 second. I got an alarm going off. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we're back. We're rolling. All right, guys. So exactly what we're going to be talking about today. You guys already know what we're going to be talking about today. And this thing is your mindset. Okay, the bully in your brain, that voice in your head. So we're going to start off with this. Okay, I want you to know that voice in your head feels like it's bullying you, but it's really preparing you to be the better man or the better woman on the other end. Like that's, although it seems backwards and directly, like when you look at it directly, it doesn't seem like that's what it is. It is that. It is that, right? And I'm going to break that down and hopefully get you to understand what I mean by this. Okay. The voice in your head isn't a bully, it's the better man. So, again, let me know if you've ever said any of these things to yourself out loud or in your head. Not if you said it out loud, you're crazy. But if you ever said these things in your head, just nod your head silently or just like, verify this. Okay. Or deny it if it's never happened. Okay. Have you ever said in your head, after you walk past the mirror, you look at yourself after the shower, you're like, you fat, lazy piece of shit. Or if you like procrastinated on something or you're currently procrastinating and you just think to yourself, oh, you're always fucking up. Like, you know what I mean? You're so lazy. Or if, you're about to go out for a dinner or to meet family or go on a date maybe for the first time and you put on some clothes and you're like, I look fat as fuck in these clothes, you know, or I don't look good enough. I shouldn't even bother talking to her. That voice in your head, that one that always seems like it's kind of pressing you down and kicking you when you're down. It seems kind of sinister. You know what I mean? It actually does sound like what a bully would say to you if they wanted to hurt your feelings, doesn't it? Like I agree personally, which is why when you don't think about it and you just let the thoughts roll, it does feel like bullying, right? It really does feel like you're bullying yourself. But even though that voice in your head can seem evil and like an actual bully, like it can sound like your number one hater. It really can. But even though that's the truth, or at least that's how we feel about it, it's kind of unfair because you can't even stop yourself from hearing that voice. Doesn't that suck? Like it sounds like bullying. It's kind of what's going on unconsciously. Like you can't really choose to turn it off in a sense. You can choose to think about it less, but like let's be real here. You know, you'll just be thinking about it. Period. No matter what. If you think about it less, you're still thinking about it. And like you just hear it. You can't really do anything about it. Over and over and over again, the voice just repeats telling you what you already fucking know. And for most people, it drives them insane. For some of us, it drives us, to anxiety. For some of us, it makes us even spiral down into like habits of depression. But that only happens like that's the only way that can really happen. Like that can you can spiral into depression and have the anxiety and get the worst out of that and actually let that voice in your head win. Like it only wins if you listen to that voice without trying to make it shut up. And I mentioned earlier, yeah, you can try to think about it less, but that's not really it's not going to fix anything at all. What I've noticed with myself and with my clients and with my friends, my peers in my life, anybody in my life that's gone through like any adversity and had that negative voice in their head that just kept repeating and like, shutting them down and kicking them when they're on the floor is you have to try to make that voice in your head shut up without just, you know, not thinking about it. So how do you actually get that voice to shut the fuck up? Like how do you actually stop talking negatively to yourself? Like how do you actually make it so that your mind is a cool place where you can like chill in there and think good thoughts about yourself and everything else in life? And like to actually be grateful and things like that. How do you actually get that bully, that dickhead, whatever you want to call it, that voice in your head to shut the fuck up? How do like what's the secret? Well, honestly, to break it down, it's simple, but it's very difficult at the same time. In order to get that voice in your head to shut up, you have to be aware of the fact that you're not waiting for a therapist to coddle you. That's the first thing. You have to be aware that you're not going to fix it by going to church and praying for that voice to go away. You're not going to, cry yourself to sleep about it because that's not going to fix shit. And, it's not going to be fixed or you're not going to shut that voice up by isolating yourself and, just again, keeping those thoughts in your head without expressing them. Okay? Like those things will not work. The only thing that I know that works, that's worked for myself, that's worked for my peers, my friends, my family, my clients, is doing the deep work. There's something that you know you should be doing, or there are a few things that you know you should be doing in your life that you're not doing, and because of that, these voices are they're spawning in your head. These voices are repeating in your head, and they're dragging you down because there are things in your life that you know you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing, and that's fucking you up. And you can't afford to ignore it any longer because the more you do, the worse you feel, the louder that voice in your head gets. Does that make sense? I'm just gonna give you a moment of silence there. Let me know if that makes sense to you. All right. The way to make that voice in your head shut up is by doing the deep work. So, in order to convince that voice in your head to shut up, your actions must kick the shit out of it. Period. We've heard this saying once, and I'm going to tell it to you again. Actions speak louder than words. And when your actions are the right actions, when you're doing the things that you know you're supposed to be doing that would counter those voices in your head, those actions become even louder than the words in your head. And the truth is, guys and girls, this is the truth. The words that you say to yourself in your head, they come from somewhere. They're not random. They're not invalid. And in a sense, they're not untrue, right? If you think that you're fat, it's probably because you are. If you think that you're lazy, it's probably because you are. And then you look at the habits in your life and they probably add up to those somewhat negative statements. I think they're not really negative. I mean, you feel negative when you hear them, but they're just true. And the only reason why they feel negative is because you're not doing anything about them. And you know that the less you do about it, the more true it becomes, and the worse you end up feeling. And that voice in your head ends up just suppressing you and your power, your greatness, your potential, because you refuse to fucking move an inch. And I'm not telling you this from a high horse or from some pedestal. Like I'm telling you with genuine experience. Like I've actually been there. Do you know what I mean? Like that voice doesn't come from somewhere. That voice of extreme criticism is not invalid. It's literally the better man or the better woman in the back of your brain screaming and fighting for you to evolve into who you're supposed to be. I'm gonna repeat that again for y'all that didn't get that. Just pay the fucking like listen up. Listen up to this part right here. That voice in your head that you feel like is bullying you, that is oppressing you, that is always talking down on you, that's always criticizing you and calling out your flaws, that voice is the better man or the better woman in your head screaming and fighting for you to evolve into who you're supposed to be, and you fucking know this. Which is why when you run away from it, the insults only hurt even more. And let's be like, let's keep it a stack here. Insults only hurt when they're true. Insults only ever hurt when they're true. And if something hurts you and you're saying this about yourself, you know it's true. So what can you do in your life to make that untrue or to disprove that, no longer make it a fact? The only thing to do is action, not going to church and praying about it, not going to a therapist. And I mean, for some people, yeah, maybe that's like your last the thing that you need, like therapy, right? You're doing everything else right, and then now you need a therapist, like definitely. But most of it comes down to the actions that you're committing on a daily basis. So if you're one of those people that said 2022 is the year I finally lose 15 pounds, 20 pounds, or whatever it is, or I finally put on 5 pounds, 10 pounds of muscle, and I change my physique. And every time I look in the mirror, I see a skinny piece of shit or a fat piece of shit, and that's like what my head tells me. I know I'm saying these things to myself because I am not doing the things that would make those statements invalid, that would make those statements not true. Because if I were doing them, then nothing would even that wouldn't be true. I wouldn't be saying that, and even if I was saying it, it wouldn't even make sense in my head because of my actions, and my actions negate that voice in my head. Does that make sense? Your actions are what's going to separate that voice in your head from being true and false. And if you choose not to do anything about it, if you choose to just make New Year's resolution after New Year's resolution, and you don't do a thing about it, and you continue to feel worse and look worse every single year, it's going to fuck you over. You will get worse anxiety, you will get worse depression, and I promise it's not going to look pretty. And I'm speaking with personal experience here. I've held back on my goals a lot throughout my life, and I've learned my lesson. So instead of being afraid, I shoot. I take the risk. I shoot now. I score later. That's one thing that I always took from wrestling from one of my coaches. He always told me, shoot first, score later. Don't worry about the score. Just shoot first, take your risk, score later. Right? Shout out to Mr. Sherlin, Marlon Sherlin, my old wrestling coach there. But guys, that's the point. Girls, that's the point here today. That voice in your head that's holding you back, or that at least you think is something super negative, is the better version of yourself fighting and screaming for you to evolve into who you're supposed to be by literally reminding you what the fuck you're supposed to be doing in order to become that person who you're able to become. Like your potential, it's written all over your potential. It's why you want the things in life that you want. And you know this, which is why you run away from it, because it's quite a big responsibility, I won't lie. But what hurts more than that is knowing that you haven't fulfilled what you were supposed to fulfill, knowing you had the potential to do it, and now you're living a mediocre life. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst fucking enemy. And I would certainly not wish that to you if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you're listening to this. I don't want that for you, which is why I'm talking about it today. Okay? Insults only hurt when they're true, especially if they're said to you from you. I'm going to repeat that again. Insults only hurt when they're true, especially if they're said to you from you. Let that just sit with that one. Let that register. All right. So again, guys, just if anything, the number one thing I want you to take away from this episode is for you to evolve into the better man or the better woman, so that voice in your head that used to hurt you becomes your sidekick and pushes you to higher heights. So just so I can explain it to you, there's two mental frames here. The mental frame of the person who doesn't respond to the voice in their head, and the mental frame of the person who responds to the voice in their head with action. Okay? So the person that doesn't respond with action keeps hearing these things, looking in the mirror, you look fucking fat, you look horrible in clothes, da 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 da. You do nothing about it, so it hurts you. You just honestly sit down and you drag yourself down. Now, the other person, the one that puts the action in and the work in, could even have the same voices going on. It's likely not going to happen, but even if it does, it's going to be okay. Well, more fuel under the fire. I'm going to work double as hard this week in the gym. I'm going to be double as strict in the kitchen this week with my nutrition. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to change my actions so that voice in my head makes no sense. And in that sense, that even though the words might be negative, you can actually still use that as a source of fuel, as like a form of motivation. Does that make sense? So again, that voice in your head can either literally be your arch enemy or your sidekick, depending on your actions. You can let it push you to higher heights or sink you to lower depths, deeper depths. Does that make sense? Again, guys, girls, be grateful for that voice in your head. Like the way I look at it, especially when I'm in downtimes, is this is how I think of it. You love yourself so much and you don't even know it. Like you love yourself so much and don't even know, which is why that voice in your head it just exists. It's just like do better, do better, do better. Even though you're trying not to think about what you're fucking missing out on, that voice is still there. So you better thank that inner voice because it's reminding you of who the fuck you're meant to be and all the potential that you have. You better thank that embarrassment. You better thank the guilt that you feel when you don't follow through on your promises, when you keep flaking on your New Year's resolutions. You better thank them. All those negative feelings. Because all those things, when you put them together and you add action on the back end of it, is going to make you the better man or the better woman. I fucking promise. All right. That's it. That's all. If you like this episode, share it out with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you guys and girls today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. Also, I want to let you know, all right, we are the 12th of December right now. On the 31st of December at 11:59 p.m., we'll be closing off coaching and the prices will be going up for the following year. So if you do want to lock in your prices and have IFBB Pro Matt Butale as your head coach, shoot me a DM on whatever social media platform you want to reach out to me on. Honestly, I'm everywhere. Just search Matt Butale, MATT space BUTALE. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere. Reach out to me, give me a DM, tell me that you heard me on the podcast or whatever it was, and I'll see if I can help you out. Again, I don't take on everybody. You have to be a hard worker to join the Natural Nomad Academy. But again, I'm still extending this invite to you if you wish to lock in a price before the increase in the new year. All right. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. Let's embrace our inner meathead together. IFBB Pro Matt Butale signing out. Boom. All right. Podcast episodes recorded, people. It is recorded. All right. So I'm going to be looking at just shouting people out because we didn't get many comments today. All right. That's cool. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that's stuck around and actually like listen to this. Duke, what it is? What's good? Manraj, what's up? Duke, Matthew, what's good? E Funnel, what's up? Duke says the trend. Who you guys are funny, bro. You guys crack me up. SJ Fall Classic, thanks for joining. Asil, what's good? Kev, yeah, what's up? I see you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I really, really, really do. Cole, hey, what's good? He is you. I appreciate you. Amanda, dude, I appreciate the follow. I really do. And you're most welcome anytime. Again, we do go live about 4 to 5 times per week. You can definitely check me out on the YouTube. That's where I save all the recorded episodes. Yeah, you could just, is it what? Matt Butale. So MATT space BUTALE. You can hit me with a sub there if you want to see more consistent content of this stuff. And you can hit me up on Instagram. I post every day on Instagram relating to mental health, relating to fitness and things of that sort. So if you like what you see, Amanda, and you enjoyed this podcast episode, you can definitely check out all my other social medias. Tune into the podcast. You know what I mean? We're on Spotify. We are also on Apple Podcasts. That's Meathead on the Mic podcast. You can definitely check that out. This is episode 141. We have 140 other episodes outside of this that I think you might like as well. She says, wise words will do. Thanks for sharing. You are always welcome. Again, I do appreciate people that actually engage. That's the main reason why I even go live in the first place. Otherwise, I would just record the podcast and be on about my day. But I do appreciate you, Amanda. Thanks for having the courage to come out here and actually engage with me, a complete stranger who, you know, is somewhat of a meathead. But I appreciate you. I appreciate your courage. And I hope that you have a wicked ass Monday and a wicked ass week. All right. Hope to hear from y'all soon. Peace, love, and protein. IFBB Pro Matt Butale signing out. Peace.